back. Let's focus on the auto space now. Samvardhana Motherson, which is the erstwhile Motherson Sumi Ltd, has acquired the assets of frame manufacturing and assembly operations of Daimler India Commercial Vehicles. Vivek Chaand Sehgal, who is the chairman at Samvardhana Motherson International, joins us now to talk about that. Mr. Sehgal, good morning and thanks a lot for joining us. You know, plenty of questions, but first on this particular acquisition, what are the synergies, and if you can just tell us how much would this help you increase your content per vehicle?
Well, this is something which is ongoing with Daimler worldwide. We acquired cold stamping and a company which was supporting Daimler in India. And this is the next step. We are taking over the frame manufacturing and the long member manufacturing of Daimler. The turnover last year was approximately about 300 crores. This particular thing augurs very well, because for next 10 years, we are going to be working together as the sole supplier to Daimler. And we could also then use the assets for other consumers in and around Chennai.
Okay.
So
this,
yes.
Sure. This acquisition, you've said, has a 300 crore revenue potential. When does this 300 crores kick in? I mean, over what time period?
So we were doing contract manufacturing for them in the last year, and now it becomes a full supplier.
So how does that change the revenue potential for you? So from being a contract manufacturer, now you're a full supplier, and you can use this to supply to other OEMs as well. Does that mean a big, big revenue potential? If you can in some way quantify it for us, are you in talks with other OEMs to supply to them from this factory?
At this moment, I think it was important for us to do the deal with Daimler. Now that it becomes a part of Motherson, we can do more business with outside customers if required. But just to give you a size of the order book was what I was trying to do.
Sorry, what did you say?
Sorry?
What did you say was the size of the order book?
Well, it's about 300 crores for the last year. But as it goes forward, it's going to be better and better.
Okay, so on a compounded basis, what could the growth look like?
This is too small in this acquisition.
Yes.
It's important for us because it opens up brand new avenue, body in white, then these kind of metal this thing. It augurs very well for the entire content per car and trucks, etc.
Any other OEMs where you are, supplying to the facility, and perhaps you plan to integrate in future? Any more acquisitions of this sort that you're looking at?
So, Sonia, we've just done a deal with Saudi Arabia for cars and all that. You know about that. Yes. So all these things are strengths that are being built up in Motherson Group. Then we can go into different countries and we can solve their problems, whatever the customers that are there, we can do that. So it's very important for us. And when you have Daimler as a teacher, it's amazing what we can learn and what we can contribute to the world.
Can you quantify for us this Saudi Arabia deal? You've said in the press release that you're looking to evaluate opportunities for industrial development and service activities. What would this entail, and what kind of revenue potential would you be looking at here?
I think revenue and all that is vital, but we have to set up the entire ecosystem of manufacturing vehicles, whatever parts that we manufacture. So we are going to transfer that particular know-how on to Saudi Arabia and potentially one or two other countries. So the ability for those countries to make their cars, which they want to make, their national cars, whichever, is the opportunity. And the investments and all could really be sizable. So working together with the government and building up the ecosystem for manufacturing of cars, the parts that we manufacture.
Got that. The one thing that has been a bit of a concern to the street, Mr. Sehgal, is the rising debt. So I was going through your last presentation where you said that your net debt has now risen to almost 8,270 crores, and the debt to EBITDA is the highest that you've seen in the last many quarters at 2.1 times. I understand that there has been a higher working capital pressure because of the current challenging environment. But do you think your debt can escalate further in this fiscal year? And if yes, how do you plan to control it?
So I don't really worry too much about the debt in the books because this is exceptional circumstances in the world. And in fact, it is more beneficial when you are having higher inventories because the currency movement and all that doesn't affect you to the negative. So I think, yeah, these are certain very challenging times in the world. But higher inventory is something which the customer is already paying you for, and he wants you to build inventory. So it doesn't really bother us very much on that. And the moment these things ease up, the semiconductor and the other issues, I think you will find that our inventory will come down back to normal. So not really very worried about it.
You're not worried about it, but my question was more to the tune of, will your debt escalate in the near future as your, capex plans fructify? Are we looking at higher debt from the company?
No, I don't think it will be very high. And look, we always have the avenues of, you know, increasing the equity in the company. We're quite comfortable in that situation. But I believe that we don't see a need for that in the coming next 6 months to 1 year. But if some big acquisition comes, then we will have all the avenues open for us, and including increase of equity.
There's no big acquisition that you're looking at the moment, right?
Sorry?
There's no big acquisition that you are looking at or you've narrowed down on at the moment?
Well, you'll be kept informed as they happen, because there are a lot of things which are happening, which is we can't tell you just now. But there are a lot of cards which are open, and a lot of due diligence is going on, and we are sure that there's going to be that much more. Because our target is very clear.
Okay. One last question from my end, on the margin pressures, because we've seen the margins move to multi-quarter lows of 6.5% because of raw material cost pressures. But now that raw material costs have fallen and things have improved, how much do you see the margins recover to over the next couple of quarters?
So that advantage is, thanks for clarifying, that advantage will come to us. But even the past money that has been spent is being recovered from the customer. Motherson follows the mercantile system in which whatever is the cost, we take 100% of it upfront. And whatever is expected to come from the customers, we don't make a provision for that. We actually, when the money comes in, we will quantify and tell you that much money has come. So I think in that sense, it's a very transparent, clear way of telling all our investors that the money is going to come, but when it comes, that's the time when we will declare it in our results.